everyone, it's Sarah at Cornish Paper Crafts. Just thought I'd bring to you today a quick and easy project using the Daisy Lane stamp set. I did two variations, very quick and easy to do. Seaside Spray, Cherry Cobbler. Which one do you prefer? I like both. I think this one's more subtle. This one's more prominent and I think it's more brighter. It reminds me of summer a lot more. So this is the one we're going to be making. So the two stamp sets that you need are Daisy Lane, because we're going to be using Little Daisy, Big Daisy and the stalk, and we're going to be using the birch background stamp. And the other stamp set that I will be including in this one is the Daisy Delight one, just for the thank you sentiment. But you can change those over, you can add different ones in or add your variations in. I'd love to see what sentiments you use. So the first part you need is your base, 4 inches by 11.5. Let me just score that down the middle at 5 3/4. Okay, so that is your base card done. Then you're going to need Whisper White for your stamping layer, and I bought mine in this time, instead of 1/8 of an inch, I bought it in 2/8, so technically a quarter. So for width you're going to need 3 3/4, and for length, so instead of 5 3/4, you're going to need 5.5. Okay, so that is going to be your stamping layer, so it's just going to give you a bit more of the background colour to show around the border. Okay, so the first bit we're going to do is bring in the Stamparatus. Now I'm still very new at using mine, and I do find it a little bit frightening, especially with the magnets. So the first bit I did is, because I don't have the grid paper, I literally got some, I think this came from Old Stage. It's on Stage. It's just some paper that I wrote down the notes on that they gave us on that day. So I just put that down just so I could use the grids as my lining up. Actually, I'm not going to use that side because it's got a bit of tacky glue on it. So let's turn that one around there. And then what you're going to need to do is just line your card up. So I didn't use the magnets that came with mine. I literally used some other magnets that I had for a tea light project, purely because I'm just frightened of catching my hands in them and getting stuck. So let me just see if that lines up. Actually, probably what it'd be easier to do is just to line it up onto there, because that's got grids on, and just transfer it straight across. So that would be a lot easier. So let's get that one straight. There we go. And I've lost my magnet in the meantime. There we go. So just pop the magnet just down on the corner. I'm not sure if you can see me, just what I'm doing there. Let me just bring it out a little bit. So I've popped my magnet just here. Okay. Then what you want to do is grab your background stamp. Like I say, I've used birch. It was the one that came free when I went to On Stage last year. It's a background stamp. You could use, just trying to think, you could use the handwritten one if you've got it, or you could use crackle paint. Any of them will do. Okay. So you just want to pop it down to make sure it covers all of your card. Bring your Stamparatus down, just so you know that is going to cover the area that you want to stamp. Now I've used Smoky Slate. You can use Grey Granite, you can use Crumb Cake. The colour choice is entirely yours, okay? And just give that stamp a real good inking. And the bonus with the Stamparatus obviously is you can go back and re-ink it if there's an area that hasn't covered as much as what you wanted it to. And then just give it a good press. And lift it up. There we go, take everything out that you need. Obviously I'm going to leave that one on there for the moment because I'll do my clean down after this. So just put that one aside with your magnet and everything. So that is your background done now, okay? So that bit will go onto there any second. So the next bit we need to do is to get the stalks out of this one. And obviously, because we're going to be using a big daisy and a little daisy, you just need to grab yourself some scrap card, just so you can shorten it down. As you can see, this is where I was making it this morning. But I'll show you exactly what I mean in a moment with that one. So grab a block and pop your stamp down. I was using a thinner block earlier, but I think I've packed that one away, trying to be tidy for a change. Okay, so the first one, actually let's take the base out from that just so it doesn't create anything. So you pop your first one down, and then for your second one, obviously ink it up exactly the same way again. And then all I did was popped my scrap piece of card down where I wanted the stalk to stop, or the stem should I say, rather than stalk. Okay, because I'm no good with masking and stuff, because I get ink all over me, all over my fingers, all over the stamp set, and I get in a right mess with it all. So I just find it easier to put a piece of scrap there and just mask it off. Okay, so that's that bit done. Then you're going to need to stamp your daisies, and we're going to be using cherry cobbler. It took me ages to buy the cherry cobbler ink because I thought, oh, it's just the same as real red. I'm not missing out on anything at all. And wow, it's completely different. It's more richer, it's deeper. I love it. So grab yourself some scrap pieces of paper, and we always have scraps hanging around. And just pop your two daisies down. So that's those two done. And then you need to grab another piece. So let's just put those aside just to make sure they dry. Another piece of paper. As you can see, I was doing another project a minute ago, to stamp your larger daisies down. Okay. So let's just let those dry a second. And I'm just going to put those out of the way. And whilst those are drying, we're going to be doing the sentiment. And for the sentiment, you just need a scrap piece of card. There we go. And then we're just going to stamp down with the thank you stamp, which I'm just trying to work it if I've still got out. Bear with me. Nope, I put it back. So this one's a photopolymer stamp, so you can see exactly where you're putting it when you're lining it up. Okay, so I'm just going to grab another block quickly. I've just got mine in the storage caddy just beside me. So let me just grab that one out of it. As you can see, I am a bit OCD with my blocks. They've still got the protective covering on. So let's pop those down there. And then what you can do with the photopolymer, because it's got a straight bottom line, line it up on your cutting mat, okay? And then get your block and pop your block on top, so you know that is straight, okay? Now I am going to just grab another piece of scrap paper. Bear with me. I'm not going to use that bit because I'm going to be batch making those. I'm just going to cut a piece off the bottom of here. I'm going to be making quite a few of these tonight. So let's just pop that bit over there. And again, using cherry cobbler. And just be careful. I mean, the first couple of times I stamped this down, it didn't quite work. So we might be repeating ourselves in a moment. Yep, it did it again. It chopped the bottom of the U off for some reason. And that was done a splodge on it. Right. Much better. Let's use that one. And whilst that's drying, I'm going to cut out the daisies very quickly. So let me just grab the other two scraps. So you need the little daisy punch. I mean, you could fussy cut them, but I think you'll be there a little while. So with the daisy punch, obviously it fits right around the image. There we go. And you just punch it. Done. So that's that one done. Same with the next one. And just sometimes you do have to cut the card a little bit if you can't quite get in to it, and then just line it up once more. It can take a second or two just to make sure you've got it right, and punch. Oh, I don't, there we go, that one done. And then you'll need the large daisy punch for these ones. So again, what I'm going to do is just chop a little bit off just so I can get into them. Don't worry, I will be using bits and pieces that are left on these scraps of card. I don't waste anything, I'm afraid. And just again, make sure you can line it up. Sometimes you might just have to take a little bit more of the card off. That's why I try and use scraps. But since I've been home, I've been using up quite a few scraps. So that's a large one done. And then just pull your punch out ever so gently, because it can get stuck on the edges, and if it does, you can pull it and it will come free. Sometimes you do get a little bit stuck in there. And then the same with the second one. Just line it up again. Okay. And give it a punch. So that's the punching done, and what we're going to do is we're going to raise the daisies up a little bit. And what you need to do is grab your bone folder, hold the centre, but hold the base of 2 petals at the same. If you do one, you are going to pull your petals off. Trust me. And just give them a little bit of a kink. Doesn't need much, just a little bit. Take 2 at a time and just give them a little bit of a curl, okay? So do that with all 4 of them, so both the large ones and the 2 little ones. There we go, so just so you can see what's going on there. So it just pops it up just a little bit. I don't know if you can quite see that. It's just a tiny little bit, but enough to make it effective. And then you're going to do exactly the same with the little ones. Obviously these are smaller, so you just need to hold on to them just that little bit more. It's just an effective way. It just makes it so that they pop from the card a little bit. They don't sort of sit still, as I call it. Then what you need to do is grab some dimensionals. So I keep mine in the DVD boxes that Stampin' upsell. And you just need to, I mean, I'm using, for the larger one, you can use the big hexagons. And if you pop the hexagon behind the first one, okay, just so it pops it up. And then what you can do is pop that one down. And then on the second one, use a glue dot, okay, because otherwise it's going to be sticking out far too far. And with the glue dot, just pop it in the centre of the flower. Okay, and then just when you pop them down, just off centre them so it looks like a more fuller daisy, okay? And then for the little flowers, you can use the mini Stampin' dimensionals, which are teeny tiny. And just pop that one on the back, just on the centre there. Peel off its back. Pop him down. Pop a glue dot on the second daisy. Okay. And off centre him as well. And when I say off centre, it just means so that you get that double layered look, okay? Now the last bit that we need to do is to cut the sentiment out. And for the sentiment, I used rectangle stitched framelets, and I used this one just here, the second one in, okay? So I'm just going to cut that one. I'm not quite sure if I can fit my big shot in on the back here. Let me just see if it will fit on without damaging anything. You're probably not going to be able to see it, but you can. We'll see it come through in a second. Let me just see which one we stamped. No, I can't find which one we stamped. There we go, that one just there. And then you just line up your rectangle around your thank you. Roll it through. Now I like to use my Big Shot a couple of times just to make sure it definitely has cut, okay? And you'll hear the rollers because it will clunk, so that you know it has applied the pressure. Okay, let's just move the Big Shot straight out of the way. There we go. And just very gently pop it out, because otherwise the last thing you want to do is be heavy-handed and push it through and you will rip it, which means you've got to start again on that one. And then what you just need to do is get some dimensionals for the back. I just put mine away, so let me just grab them again. And what you can use is what I call the endings with them. Let me just see if I can grab which ones I was using. Actually, you can do it with the minis, it'll be fine. And just put a couple of minis top and bottom. As you can see, I did turn it around and stamp it, so I just had to double check to make sure I was writing on the sticking dimensionals on the right side there. One in the middle, just so it doesn't sag. One on the edge. One on the edge. And then you just need to peel those off. And as you can see, so let me just bring that back up close enough to the camera just so you can see. So I've just got to peel the edges off of each and every one. They can be a little bit fiddly. The larger ones are much easier. You can use your pokey tool to take them off. And then all you need to do is pop that one across the bottom. Like I say, you can change it to happy birthday, congratulations, absolutely anything. And then some wet glue. You can use tape glue, but obviously all I would say if you're using tape glue is be careful you don't squish your daisies on the front. Make sure your card is up the right way, because the last thing you want to do is stick it down upside down. Check that you've got your edging perfect. There we go, done. Obviously you can put an inside layer in, so obviously just remember to take off 1/4 of an inch on each side. There we go. I'd love to see your creations or see what you like. If you need a catalogue, obviously drop a comment down below. I'll be more than happy to. Or if you're interested in finding out more about being a demonstrator, I'd love for you to join my team. Hit subscribe and share with your friends. Thanks for watching. Bye bye.